Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Casper the Friendly Ghost. Let's just dive in, and let's start off with this PDF file of the state of enterprise blockchain adoption in 2023 from Casper themselves. This goes in depth on a lot of things, from statistics of adoption to the lack of adoption due to hurdles, specifically around developer knowledge, viable tolls, and all that kind of stuff. But it also gives us a little bit of an insight on the percentage of businesses that do want to adopt crypto, depending on the efficiencies behind them. For an example, 81% expect technology budgets to increase in 2023, even amid an expected downturn. 54% still see blockchain and crypto as interchangeable terms, even though the former is just a single application of the latter. 87% are somewhat or very likely to invest in a blockchain solution in the next 12 months. This is especially true in China, which, by the way, Casper's making their name known in China. They have a very large presence in China as well, with a lot of their partnerships, where more than half, 55%, say they are very likely to make an investment, compared to the US 48% and the UK 42% of respondents. 86% would be very interested in deploying blockchain if there were a hybrid option, which Casper is, that allowed the secure migration of data between public and private environments, which they do. Again, I think that right now, as we really kind of look at what's happening around crypto and blockchain technology, it's only a matter of time before we see a major move on crypto technology, blockchain technology, DLT, becoming the core infrastructure layer around a lot of these major sectors and industries, and it's happening right now. I mean, honestly, I would argue that we're starting to see a big shift happening. And by the way, for those out there that are, maybe a little bit under, I would argue that a lot of us are kind of underexposed to the information around businesses and how they utilize crypto. Here you guys have a little bit of a breakdown on how a lot of these companies utilize crypto today and blockchain technology today. A lot of it is more so around data management, audits, and stuff like that. There's quite a bit of it there if you guys do want to read more about it, but I don't want to waste too much time here. What I want to talk about is just the shift happening around technology within crypto and how it could fill the blocks of what is being really kind of, I would say, missed from the traditional sense around businesses and enterprise grade adoption. So here's obstacles experienced during or after implementation. A lot of this is going to be centered on immediate ROI, regulatory compliance, and stuff like that. Implementation took too long, it was hard to use and maintain, and steep learning curve for developers. And there were no obstacles being mentioned here as well. Mainly, a lot of what we are starting to see is it's more so focused on regulatory compliance, but also implementation took too long. But you could also see the areas in the US, as well as like China, the UK, and even globally. This is the obstacles to blockchain adoption itself. Again, a lot of it being mentioned here in terms of like, we attempted adoption but were dissatisfied, or there's a few other areas as well, which is like other, but mainly we already know that a big obstacle right now to adoption of crypto is also just like limited education, and this is also kind of centered on like the idea of like regulatory compliance as well, because there's not a lot of like regulatory guidelines to follow around adoption of crypto or use of crypto and crypto itself. So again, there's still a lot of obstacles that we need to get beyond in order to have that next evolution of adoption. But in my opinion, when we look at the next 2 years around crypto and the enterprise grade market, I would argue that within the next 2 years, everything's going to change rapidly, because even if you go back to 2020 to 2022, if you guys have been here for that long, then you would realize that in a year, things can happen rapidly. In 2 years, things happen extremely fast, especially around technology. Technology moves extremely fast in terms of like the adoption cycle of it and the use cycle of it. But here we have tech adoption can fuel value. As companies head into 2023 and lay the foundation for success, technology will be essential based on the priorities they've established. Again, we focused on artificial intelligence. That's the big thing right now. And we do see, I predict we will increase spending on the following tools. We do see globally 80% around artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, 74%, process improvement, roughly 70%, blockchain, 75%, cloud infrastructure, 81%, and custom software development, 66%. So over the next 12 months, roughly 80% of the global respondents plan to adopt AI and cloud technology, well-established solutions that have proven their value across use cases and industries. Blockchain is now almost equally critical to business. 2/3 of global respondents predict that they will adopt in the next 12 months, an indication that they recognize its value and transformation potential. Now, why am I bringing this up, right? Well, when we talk about business and we talk about the enterprise grade sector, we know that Casper is well positioned to be that future layer for the enterprise grade sector and businesses. In fact, they're already making sure that they have their language set for programming standards, allowing for ease of adoption for developers and for businesses and enterprises alike. They are the main. Like when we focus on what Casper is trying to do here, they are focused on becoming that main layer for blockchain technology for enterprises and, again, businesses, which could technically be in the same category. But when we look at the trends and things happening, Casper really is trying to pinpoint themselves into the right direction around every single aspect that, again, an enterprise-grade company would be focused on, which is tokenization, ownership rights, financial standards, creator economy. Everything that we see here, they are starting to develop and adopt towards in a rapid pace. So it's very exciting. And honestly, I would argue that the ecosystem is going to continue to grow around Casper. I'm waiting for more use cases to go fully live on Casper. I think that that's right now the big thing, because we don't really have a lot of case studies besides the ones that we've been focused on for a while. But I think that we're going to see things change. Because not only are we starting to see a lot of updates around Casper, for an example, the weekly roundup, Casper Labs and IPW announced the deployment of 25 million patent NFTs during Blockchain Hub Davos. But XPRIZE and DevXDAO also announced a 3 million euro grant program for Casper developers, bringing on a lot more help to develop a lot more things around use cases. I'm actually very excited for the next evolution, like DeFi on Casper. And also Casper JavaScript SDK v2.10.2 was released. And then also around this, we did see Casper themselves have a little bit of an update around the business side of things. So new to Casper, Casper Labs co-founder and CTO, Mehta Parlikar, offers a great primer on what makes Casper the most powerful and flexible option for businesses. Because again, as we focus on the report, we know that businesses are getting ready to fully adopt this technology, and this is why Casper is the most suitable option for them.
I'm Mehta Parlikar, co-founder of Casper and the Chief Technology Officer at Casper Labs. I spent much of my career in professional enterprises like Adobe and Avalara, where I led developer teams and oversaw major technology decisions. What does a blockchain for business mean? Well, first and foremost, a blockchain has to interoperate with legacy technology, basically everything that's been built before, from developer workflows to security requirements. We designed the Casper technology to work with existing infrastructure and the existing organization. So instead of having an ivory tower of blockchain experts, organizations can onboard all of their developers. Flexibility is also essential for organizations. I often say to enterprise customers, history is immutable, but the future is unwritten. And having upgradable smart contracts gives them that flexibility. With Casper, smart contract versioning is built in. While with other blockchains, smart contract upgrades are essentially a hack. If you are a business looking to build a solution with real utility, the Casper protocol gives you all the flexibility and features your organization requires to make it a reality. And with Casper Labs, you will have the support and service you expect when adopting a new technology. Come build with us.
Again, I really do believe that 2023 into 2024 will be Casper's year. I mean, like, as we focus on blockchain technology and crypto technology, we are starting to see the norm kind of be pushed away from like retail use cases to the true use cases of the world. I mean, everything that we've started to see in the last year, 2 years, has kind of shifted away from, okay, let's focus on NFTs, let's focus on, retail use. No, it's been focused on financial use cases, government use cases, the big enterprises, the businesses, things like that. Because guess what? The next evolution of adoption will be businesses, enterprises having that direct bridge to the retail sector, because that's what it's all about. Mass adoption of technology will happen without retail even realizing it. Because again, very similar to like the internet, most individuals don't even realize the protocols that they are utilizing on a day-to-day basis. So as we look at mass adoption will be individuals utilizing technology that they don't even know about. And this is why I focus on a lot of these utility tokens like Casper, HBAR, XRP, etc. Because I do think that they will be the next evolution of mass adoption in terms of like a technological advancement. Now, again, as we do focus on this, a lot of people have asked me in the past, like, how does Casper really compete with Ethereum? Honestly, I don't like to have like two comparisons, but all you really need to do is look at like gas fees and things like that on Ethereum. In my opinion, Ethereum is old age technology. Again, I don't like to be biased or anything like that. I'm not like a maxi, but to me personally, I just don't feel the need to hold Ethereum. I think that there's way better networks. I think that there's way better protocols out there. I think that there's projects out there that have a lot better ROI factors tied to them. But if you like Ethereum, if you want to hold Ethereum, that's on you. Me personally, I would just rather hold Casper. I know that as we look at Ethereum and as we looked at Ethereum in the past, we understand that Ethereum will most likely hit $1 trillion plus in market cap valuation. It did hit $500 billion plus during the last big wave. This is from Kevin Cage. With NFT and DeFi hype, why can't other layer ones do the same with utility? Never say never. And I do believe that they will. Listen, as we look at Casper, as we look at even HBAR and Algorand and all the other major players around this space, I do believe that we will see a lot of these layer ones hit like high valuations that most people are just not realizing, or maybe they just don't think it is possible yet. But in my opinion, as we look at Casper, even if we look at like a $50 billion market cap, one Casper would be worth $4.68. That's an upside of 130x from our current price. If you want to be a little bit more conservative and like really kind of just target like $25 billion for an example, or even close to like $25 billion. Let's just look at XRP, right? $21.5 billion of market cap. This would be a 55x from our current price, a $2.01 Casper. But even as you go down the list and you look at, like the top 25 right now, Casper would still have an upside of like 749%. If we are looking at like the top 20, 12x. Again, we're still very early on in this market, and if we do hit like a $500 billion market cap for Casper, then you're looking at a much higher valuation. This is where you look at like almost a $50 Casper. If we're going off the total supply here, you're looking at a little bit of a different story. If we're targeting, maybe 4 years down the road, right? I think that on average, it's about 8% year over year in inflation on the Casper token, which is roughly about, give or take, 800 million Casper per year. And if we're targeting 800 million Casper per year, which my estimate might be a little bit off in terms of like 800 million, but I'm just saying for an example for this video, and we target like 4 years down the road, or maybe even 8 years down the road, where Casper hits $500 billion in market cap, then give or take, you're looking at almost 15 billion tokens out there. If we're targeting 15 billion tokens, again, I'm taking into accountability inflation on the token itself, then we're still targeting a 934x opportunity run at about $33.33 per Casper. Again, this is talking hypotheticals, but when we look at Ethereum and when we look at these other layer 1 networks that are, a lot more efficient, that are catering to the retail or catering to the enterprise and business sector instead of just catering to like NFTs and DeFi hype for the retail sector, I would bet on the layer 1s over Ethereum, just because I understand that enterprises are not going to want to utilize technology that is inefficient, that is old age, that doesn't have the features that Casper has built into it already. And when we look at like what's happening around the technology adoption for these enterprises, for these businesses, and for many other major players going forward, even in terms of like governmental use cases, it's going to be focused on the networks that are extremely efficient, that are offering that tech that these businesses need, right? And we will get there. I would argue that, again, like I said, in the next year, 2 years, maybe even a little bit over that, like 2026, just pay attention to the business side of things, because, those big use cases, that big money advantage, like when we're talking about like trillions of dollars, I do think that's going to go towards networks like Casper, like Hedera, like Algorand, because of what they have to offer, the utility behind them. And this is why I focus on these projects every single day. This is why I focus on what's happening around this technology. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.